Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video about my past experiences with speech therapy and how it affected me as a person who stutters. So I've had speech therapy since the 2nd grade, and then I ended speech therapy in the 12th grade. So about 10 years of speech therapy. I don't have speech therapy now. I'm a junior in college. I can't afford it. Under my health insurance, it's not covered. So I would have to pay for it out of pocket, and I can't afford that. So I haven't had speech therapy since. So I just want to talk about like my experiences with the speech therapy that I did have. So I believe that my speech has stayed about the same. It hasn't really gotten any better, hasn't really gotten any worse since I started to stutter. I believe that speech therapy has given me the perspective of an outside person because when you're with a speech therapist, they can give you tips on how to not stutter, but they can also give you tips on how to stutter what do one of my speech therapists say? Stutter smoothly, stutter confidently, so you're not afraid to stutter because that's the way that you speak. So I believe that speech therapy isn't supposed to stop you from stuttering because it's kind of impossible to stop stuttering if you have severe stutter. My speech therapy take is that speech therapy should strive to make people who stutter more confident in their stuttering and more confident in their ability to talk and get their message across even if they do stutter. I believe that happened to me. I feel like I am more confident and I'm aware of how I stutter and when I stutter and stuff like that. A prime example of how I've gotten the perspective that I do have is that in one of the last years of speech therapy, my speech therapist recommended that we were to film me stuttering. So I would read or I would just talk about anything. So we would film and then I would watch it back in front of her. So it was very hard for me to watch it back because I didn't want to know how bad I really stuttered. So I would watch it back and then it wasn't just a voice recording. It was my face. You could see even when I locked up, when I was drooling, when I was squinching my eyes, when the whole stuttering was happening. So that really affected me because I grew up thinking, yeah, I stutter. I was like, whatever, yeah, I stutter. It's not a big deal. And then I realized all the things that I do when I stutter, and then now I'm able to think about how to not let myself drool. I can swallow my spit, sounds weird, before I talk, and then I won't drool as bad and I won't spit on the person. So I've gained that knowledge, and I think that's important to do. I think it's important to understand how bad you stutter or how you stutter, so you can learn how to use tips and strategies to work on it and not just have a blind outlook on how you stutter and then you don't really know what to do. You know what I mean? So I feel like that helped. But I also feel like if you're a speech therapist, you should talk with the person that you are working with, because if you just say, oh, let's just film you speaking, and they might not gain anything from this, and it might actually negatively affect them and cause them to be afraid to talk in front of cameras or go to speech therapy or be with you. It might make them very, 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 very uncomfortable and trigger something else that you don't want to trigger and that you want to make them as comfortable as possible. And I know that speaking in front of a camera and recording yourself and then watching it back is very uncomfortable if you stutter or if you have a speech disfluency. But I believe that it needs to be done for the most part, and I believe a lot of people can gain something positive from it. Besides that, something else that really affected me positively was not only having speech therapy in the speech therapy room with my speech therapist, but my speech therapist also made it a point to bring in people from the school to speak with them. So then you would bring in my vice principal and I would talk to him. Or I also went out into the speech there and to the school, and I would ask for things that I didn't really need, but like I asked the receptionist for a paperclip or something really trivial, like something so small, but it helped me not be as afraid. I'm still kind of nervous talking to people and asking for help, but it made me not as like afraid to ask people for help or ask people like just for something, you know? Those are like the main two things that I really think people who stutter could take from. Something else that I didn't do in this class, but I think would be helpful would be talking on the phone with your speech therapist. And it doesn't have to be like you guys are in different rooms. It could be like you guys are right here and you guys are literally not like with your phone like calling the person, but like you have your phone up to your ear and you're talking. Because I feel like a lot of people who stutter have a fear of phones and a fear of talking on the phone, but it's like you don't want to be calling them, but you're just like talking and you have your phone up to your ear, but you feel comfortable because it's with someone that you're comfortable with and you see like their reaction to you talking. Because a lot of my fear of the phone is not knowing how the person is reacting, because they could be like, you know, on the phone and then you talking to them and you're stuttering, but you don't know if they're like laughing by the side or if they're like questioning or they're like, what the hell, like, you know? So like with them in front of you, you can see that not everyone has a negative reaction to how you stutter on the phone. So I think that would be really interesting and see how that works with someone. I think I would benefit from that because right now I don't really talk on the phone unless it's with my mom, and even that I have to like be by myself to talk on the phone with my mom. Like I can't be around people because then I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna see me doing this, and like it's not gonna be as like personal, and I feel like they're gonna like they're gonna judge me and I'm gonna think about how they're judging me, and then I won't pay attention to the conversation that I should be having with my mom or whoever, you know. And it's really frustrating because a lot of the things that you have to do as an adult, or like you may have to do as an adult, comes down to talking on the phone. And I really struggle with that. I have to get other people to talk on the phone, and sometimes I have to get them to talk to my bank, and my bank's like, oh, we can't do this because you're not him. So then I have to take over, and then they get frustrated with me, like the bank does. They have to give the phone back to the person that speaks fluently, and then I have to then they have to ask them a question, and then I have to say yes, and then they can like talk, and it's just really frustrating. And I wish that there was an easier way to talk on the phone for people that have communication disorders, but as of now, this is life, and I feel like we just need help being more comfortable with talking on the phone. Like, no, we aren't gonna get fluent like that. We're not just gonna take a pill and we're gonna be fine. Like, I think we just need people that understand where we're coming from, and hopefully this video helped people who are going into speech therapy, people who are going to be speech therapists, people who are speech therapists, just in general. I hope it helps people get a perspective on a person who stutters, on what the speech therapy was and what they think could help other people who stutter and have medication/anxiety disorders. Okay, so if you have any suggestions on what I should make videos about, just leave them in the comments below, and I will talk to you later.